Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shoot, what is your question?
So initially when moksha is presented as a Parama Purushartha, because it is presented as a goal.
Yeah.
So can we say that then the person who inquires or to whom it is like presented that it is Parama Purushartha, that the identity of that person is that of a seeker, irrespective of any other roles that he's playing or anything else. Can we say that he's a seeker or inquirer?
In the beginning, when you're starting, seeker is one of the roles you're playing, isn't it? You're a seeker of the truth. You're also mother, father, brother, sister, whatever. It's all part of the thing. So unless you're full time, only then you're exclusively seeker. Predominantly seeker. Even there, it cannot be completely exclusive. Predominantly seeker. Yeah. Otherwise, it's there with along other things. Now the question is, in your life, you'll also find that certain roles you give more importance than other roles. This happens in day-to-day life also, no? Yeah. For example, the moment you become a parent, then that role gets a huge focus. Okay? So job, huge focus. So each person has their own. Some roles are more focused than the other. So it depends on how much focus you are giving to this role as seeker also. Yeah. The more you give that focus, the faster your understanding will be, the better your understanding will be, the more easier you will get into the whole thing. But the very act of karma yoga exists so that you can balance out with other roles. Exclusive pursuit is only for the sannyasi, where other roles are chopped off. Sannyasa is not a role exactly, it is chopping off other roles. Most of the roles are chopped off. So, karma yoga, you have other roles. And there will always be time in life when some role gets more important, some role gets less important. Like you're primarily, parent role gets important. But suddenly you find your parent, someone who's fallen ill, etc. Then suddenly you drop everything and you're focused there. This is life. This happens all the time. Okay? Happens. That's what happens. So that's part of the game. So you balance out as much best as you can. You balance out. That's the thing with roles. No? Yeah. Sometimes certain role will gain some more importance, sometimes some other role will gain some more importance. But seeker role is always there, so keep that thing going. Even if you are full-time seeker, and you find your father had a heart attack or is in hospital, you will take that time off. I mean, that is natural.
Humanity demands.
Yeah. You can have nothing to do. Even if you have another sibling who's taking care of things, still you will make yourself present there. That's part of the game. That's called balancing roles. Yeah. Even if you are a sannyasi, you will do that. Like I remember Swamiji drove all the way down from Coimbatore to Kumbakonam because his mother was seriously ill. So the junior teacher was taking the classes and he drove all the way down. Why? Because that's how you balance. Even though you're a sannyasi, you still do that. Certain things you take care of. So, predominantly seeker, fine. But other roles will come in. Can't avoid it. It's not like olden days. Someone from Maharashtra went to Rishikesh. But traveling itself there takes a month. Then by the time he gets the message, his father is not well, probably father is either got better or gone. By the time the message goes there. So that was different. By even our times, message to come would take letters. No? There is no email in 78, 79, there was no email in Bombay.
Telegram.
Telegram in Rishikesh.
You
We would
receive
write a letter
telegram
saying
yourself.
telegram follows. Telegram, you would say letter follows. And the letter is telegram. It was like that. Where was there email in 78, 80 and all? Not there. Letters only. So 3-4 day gap was always there. I know many of the youngsters, many of the youngsters will not even be able to believe that, that we functioned without emails.
We lightning calls करते थे.
Yeah.
बहुत urgent है.
Booking we had to book a trunk call
Lightning को.
to other cities.
हो जाता था.
Yeah. And if you are booking a trunk call between Rishikesh and Haridwar, it's easier to go down to Haridwar, have the conversation and come back. When the trunk call has still not come through. I'm not joking, I've done things like that. So once we tried it out, Shuddhanand ji said, हम trunk call book करता है. I said, स्वामी जी क्या करने का? ऐसा. Okay, I'll go meet that person and come. नहीं, trunk call book किया. I went, met the person, we discussed everything, finished everything, finalized everything, came back. Trunk call is still not coming. So I told him, cancel the trunk call. Those are different days. But we got things done. Not that things were not done. A lot of things were done. So now also you get things done. Yeah, communication happens fast, but things take the same time. No? Things will take the same time. Yeah. So that much for that. Any other questions?
Yeah, so this page 87, there are 14 Vidyasthanam. What are these 14 Vidyas?
Purana, Itihasa, Vyakarnam, Niruktam. It is there in that list.
Here.
Yeah.
Acha.
All those things. Because to really study the Veda and do all the rituals, you need all that. Astrology, astronomy, both. Astronomy also you need, astrology also you need. To do a ritual, you need all that.
Yeah, it is written there.
Yeah.
Puranyam,
Yeah,
Manasa,
exactly, all that. So you require all those. That's why is he saying that? To show how elaborate, how full of knowledge the Veda is. It's a magnum opus. And therefore the Karta of that knowledge should have more knowledge.
Much.
Sarvajna, exactly. Yeah, Karthik, what is your question?
Swamiji, actually it's two related questions.
Yeah.
The first one is that you had mentioned that the Vedas are Pravaha Nityam.
Vedas are?
Pravaha.
Pravaha Nityatvam. Yeah.
Does it mean that the Vedas are not affected by time? Is that the meaning of Pravaha?
No, Pravaha Nityatvam means continuous.
Okay.
It's continuous. Whereas Nityam, as far as the Atma is concerned, is free from time and space.
Okay.
One is continuous in time and space, the other is free from time and space.
I see.
So, the Nityatvam of the Veda is Pravaha Nityatvam. Whereas the Nityatvam of the Atma is absolute Nityatvam.
Yes.
Not conditioned by time and space.
Yes. And related to that, is there an example of anything else that is also Pravaha Nityam?
The whole creation itself is Pravaha Nityatvam.
River.
The Jiva has got Pravaha Nityatvam, no? From birth to birth, Kalpa to Kalpa he goes, until he gains moksha.
Okay.
So, yeah, so all that is Pravaha Nityatvam. The Vedas themselves, creation also has a Pravaha Nityatvam, no? This creation like the previous creation, like similarity is there.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Swamiji, one question I have.
Hmm?
We have established Janmadyasya Yataha in the earlier.
We have?
Janmadyasya Yataha is
Yeah,
the earlier
yeah.
Sutra.
Yeah.
So Jagat Karanatvam that way is already established.
Yeah, but
So
it is
now-
being elaborated on.
Okay.
Yeah. Sarvajyatvam is being elaborated. Okay, the first section of the sutra that we see is re-establishing and elaborating the Sarvajnatva of Ishvara. Okay.
Doesn't the earlier sutra imply?
By
that
implies, it
Ah,
implies, this clarifies. Yeah.
Acha.
That is only by implication, this is stating it.
Correct.
Yeah. Stating is always more important than implication. Clear cut statement, when possible. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
When possible, a clear cut statement is more important. So, that way. Yeah. Any other questions or clarifications? That's right. Okay, then we come to. Remember, a sutra is supposed to be Vishyato Mukham. Therefore, supposed to have more than one argument when necessary. Okay. So, here also in the third sutra, there is another argument given. The first part established Sarvajnatvam of Brahman, of Ishvara. Okay, all right. So Shastra Yonitvat you repeat because now the meaning is first was Shastrasya Yonihi Yaha. What is the Yoni for the Shastra? The cause of the Shastra? Brahman, Ishvara. Now Shastram Yonihi Yasya. How do you know Brahman? Shastra is the Yoni, the cause for knowing Brahman. The second part of the sutra. Okay. Therefore, saying that again there is it's an adhikarnam now. So Purva Paksha Siddhanta etc. in Vaiyasika Nyayamala that comes through. Okay. He says Asti Anya Meyatam Api Asya Kimva Vedeka Meyatam. Is there another Meyatvam? Meyatvam meaning being able to be known. Okay. Anya Meyatam meaning is there any other pramana for knowing Brahman? Kimva Veda Eka Meyatvam or only the Veda, the Upanishad is only pramana for it. Purva Paksha is Gatavat Siddha Vastutvad. Is your Brahman Siddha Vastu or Sadhya Vastu? Sadhya means to be achieved, to be created later. Or is it Siddham already there?
Siddha.
Already there, Siddha Vastu. If it is Siddha Vastutvad, okay. Siddha Vastutvad, Brahma, Anyepi Miyate. Brahman can be known by other things also. Because in the world we find anything that is known through Shabda Pramana is also known through other Pramanas. None of you have been to Gomukh except Dayanand. Okay. No one from here has come to Gomukh with me. She has been on her own. Okay. So if I talk about Gomukh, Shabda Pramanam, but it is available for your perception when you go there. So look at anything that you can communicate to someone else using Shabda in the world, Laukikam. It will always be known by another Pramana also. Okay. Therefore he says Siddha Vishayatvat. Okay. Anya api miyate. Whatever perception and anumana that we have to decide. What that pramana is, we have to decide. But it can be. For which is answered by saying Rupatvadi Rahitasya. Okay. Rahitya na anyasya manantara yogyata. Say that is true. Because Gomukh etc. is available for your perception. Why? It has got a form, it has got a shape, it has got. Therefore, you can be perceived. Brahman is described as having no rupa, no nama rupa, etc. No name, form, color. Okay. Therefore, how will you see it? How will it be available for any pramana? Because it doesn't have rupadi. There is no sensory input nor sensory data for any inference, etc. Because any inference, comparison, etc. involves sensory data. Comparison involves more than one thing. A similar Similar is not there. Anupalabdhi is available only for that which does not exist. Brahman is existing there. Therefore, Anupalabdhi can not be used. Deductive logic is not applicable because for deductive logic also you need sense data. So, which pramana will you use? If perception is knocked out, most other pramanas also will be knocked out. Unless by perception you get some data to make an inference. That is not there. Okay? That is not there. Therefore, he says, Manantra, na Manantra Yogita. There is no Manantra Yogita. Cannot be known by any other pramana. Not only that, Natu Aupanishadyadyo Proktaha Veda Ekeva Meyata. In Vridanika there is a statement, the student going to the teacher and saying, Tam tu Aupanishadam Purusham Bruhi. Tell me about the Aupanishadam Purusham. Tell me about that reality that can be known only through the Upanishad. Therefore your logic says there is no other pramana. And the Shruti pramana says Aupanishadam. It can be known only through the Upanishad. Therefore Shruti, Yukti both matches it. This is important to understand that there cannot be any other pramana for Brahman than Brahman itself. In fact, all religions recognize this. I always said this before. If there is Ishvara, Bhagavan, the only way you will know Ishvara is if Ishvara himself reveals himself to you. That's why every religion, directly or indirectly, claims to be from God.
That is true also.
Yeah, every religion claims to be. Because that is beyond logic.
Ramakrishna said that.
Huh?
All religions are true.
Yeah. Now you have to see what is the goal in every religion. See, we will accept, I am willing to say this much, that I will accept all religions as valid forms of relating to Bhagavan.
Correct.
Which Bhagavan? The Bhagavan of your understanding. A Vedantin's understanding of Bhagavan to a Pauranika's understanding of Bhagavan is different. To a Christian understanding of Bhagavan is different. To an Islamic understanding of Bhagavan is different. But you relate to the Ishvara is one, and you relate according to your understanding. That much I am willing to accept. Therefore, all religions are valid ways of relating to Ishvara according to your understanding.
Correct.
But can you say all religions are the same? All religions have the same goal? No. Most religions are heaven bound. Most religions are heaven bound. No? That's it. They are not moksha bound.
That's ultimate goal.
In fact, moksha is talked about only in, if you are talking of religions, in Buddhism and Hinduism. That's all.
So Buddhism also talks of moksha.
Huh?
Buddhism also talks
Buddhism talks of nirvana.
of nirvana.
This is which is another word for moksha. Therefore, other than these two, no religion talks about moksha. They only talk about some beatitude. But all of them will claim to be from Ishvara, either directly or indirectly.
Yes, so you said they claim about beatitude.
Huh? A beatitude. Beatitude means some great experience,
Okay.
like going to heaven, ityadi. Great experience. Yes, Sanjay.
Maharaj, does Dvaita and Vishishtadvaita talk about moksha, or is their definition only going
See,
to...
they also talk about moksha, but it's a very different type of part and whole theory. Therefore, some of the qualities coming into you, those type of things.
Okay.
See, moksha as freedom from sense of finitude is talked about only in Advaita Vedanta. That's why it's considered the crowning glory.
In Buddhism also, freedom from suffering. So that is what they take in Buddhism.
So indirectly it talks about it. Freedom from suffering. Only thing is, the basic premise of being shunya is a problem. Then the nothingness is the reality. That becomes a problem. So, that's why. But all of them, except Buddhism and Jainism, will claim to be from Ishvara. Why? Because if there is Ishvara, Ishvara has to reveal himself. How will you know Ishvara? Because even if you look upon Ishvara as an entity somewhere, even if you look upon it, for the argument's sake, let us say Ishvara is in one given place. How do you know? How do you know that Ishvara was responsible for the world? Logically you cannot prove. Logically you cannot even prove one Ishvara. Yeah. Logically, you can't say Sarvasya Karta Sarvajna. Why? Because I'll give you a counter example. Logic is based on this thing also. Let us say we are building a huge building, like this building we are sitting in. It's not a very big building, it's a building. But how many people are there creating it? First you need an architect. Then you need a structural engineer. Correct? Yeah. Then you need MEP, etc. For pipelines, this, that, etc. Then you need hundreds of workers to do all of that. You need plumbers, electricians, etc. For one small building. So how do you assume that this whole universe has got only one thing? It's an assumption. There is no presumption, there is an assumption. Then on what basis are you saying there is only one God? Logic will prove the other way around. That's why the Greek had a pantheon of gods. Greeks, Romans, etc. They are all pantheons, each one responsible for something. For wisdom, for war, for this. Athena for wisdom, Mars for war, messenger of the gods. Everything. Then one big boss, Zeus. Yeah, because there has to be someone holding the whole thing together. It is more logical actually than saying there is only one God. So I remember some movie dialogue it was. Someone from a Christian thinking, someone from a Greek thinking. Oh, we believe only in one God. Say, oh, we have many gods. No, we have only one. It must be very difficult for you. Why? Because your God has to be responsible for everything. So you will blame him for everything that happens in your life.
Better to have 5-6 people.
We have variety.
But Swamiji, even in Hinduism, initially it's like that, no? That Brahma is the one who creates.
Yeah.
Then,
See, that is
Vishnu
for the
one who
masses.
sustains.
So we in Hinduism we'll talk of one Ishvara. Then we will look at aspects of that Ishvara. Same Sarvajnaha Sarvashaktiman is looked upon from the standpoint of creation. You will give him a name, Brahmaji. Standpoint of sustenance, you will give him a name, Vishnu. Standpoint of destruction, because it has to be resolved, you will give him a name, Rudra, Shiva. This is
But initially
aspects.
you don't understand that.
So in the beginning the children won't understand. Yeah, correct. So like that you can invoke aspects, because all aspects are Ishvara anyway. That's why in the temple is always a deity. No? That's why there are certain rules, regulations, etc. depending on the deity. Like if you are invoking Shiva as Dakshinamurti, he has to be facing south. The temples, all temples, the deity is supposed to be facing east. This is a rule for temples. Deities has to face east. Unless the east is blocked by a mountain or something, or there is an ocean on the west side. Ganpati Pule, for example. The Ganpati there is facing west. So there are certain niyamas, but Dakshinamurti has to be facing south. So that's why even in our ashram temple, from what the basic design that we are seeing, Dakshinamurti entrance is from the south. Dakshinamurti is the main deity. Entrance to the temple will be from the south. But it's Devi Kshetra. So Devi will be there. Devi will face east. Then Vishnu will be there. Abhi, where will we put Vishnu then? So we are invoking Vishnu as in a form called Paravasudeva. One who reveals the Paravidya, he is facing westward.
इनसे ये सब करके everything is मिथ्या.
Correct? At the end of it, what?
But still
To understand your Satyam.
Still we have to deal with.
So
That is
all
why-
these are aids to understand your Satyam. That's the whole thing.
प्रोटोकॉल तो रहता है ट्रेडिशन.
But can you say Ishvara is Mithya?
No.
Ishvara Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma.
And I am both mithya and satyam.
Your functioning is Mithya, reality is Satyam. And how do you understand that? Shastra Yonitva. There is no way you can understand Ishvara until Ishvara reveals himself. That's why Aupanishadam Purusha. Because inferences will become speculations. There is no real inference possible. It will remain speculation.
Ishvara is revealing itself every day. When you have a sunrise, it is Ishvara.
Yeah.
There is
Exactly.
protection.
Once you understand what Ishvara is,
Yeah.
not otherwise. Otherwise you will say nature.
Before
Exactly.
understanding, we don't know.
Yeah. Otherwise what you will say it is nature. Or science will put it something else, something else.
Children say, have you seen God?
Yeah.
And I tell them, wait, I'm sure.
Correct. So that's what I'm saying. There will never be logically even experimental verification. What are you going to do? Because like in science, whether it is physics, biology, anything, what is your starting point? What you see, the material that you have.
Yeah.
So what are you really experimenting and delving into? Manifestation. Okay? And by the very principle in science, there has to be subject-object divider. The subject is taken out of the picture as far as the object is concerned. You have to be very objective. If you keep this paradigm going, will you ever arrive at the final reality? Because the final reality involves subject or object division being dismissed. So as long as you keep that going, you will be delving into all the manifestations only. In fact, all mithya. That's why the scientist at Bern was asked, what if you find the God particle? Oh, then very interesting options will open up. What if you don't find it? Then even more interesting options. Because that's how it is. Because you can speculate there is a particle, a particular type, and that particle will exist only under these conditions. Now, what are you doing? You are giving a chance for a manifestation of a particular particle under a given condition. Mathematically, you have calculated out. You create the condition, you will see the particle. So you saw it. What does that prove? It proves your speculation was valid. But these particles exist only for nanoseconds. So at the end of it, what you are trying to prove? That the Big Bang was a fact. Maximum, what will you prove? Alright, Big Bang was a fact. Well, how did it go bang bang? What are the principles that were involved? Because how can an event happen without certain principles being involved? Without an observer? Without the question of consciousness? Let's assume you proved Big Bang. Then all these questions will still come up. Therefore, Shastra Yonitva. Okay. Now, so everyone can claim this. Every religion can claim it. Then you will have to see two things. Whether what the Shastra, whoever presents the Shastra, because now we are taking globally all religions. First of all, whether it is logical. It is very important because you can understand only logically. What is beyond logic is beyond logic. There is Ishvara is beyond logic. Now, if I make illogical statements about Ishvara, that is within logic. That's not beyond logic. Because illogical is within logic. Like if I say Ishvara is formless and then I locate him somewhere, How can I do that? How can the formless have location? Unless by formless you are meaning shapeless like an amoeba. You can't mean formless and say location. Like in one school of Buddhism, there are 4 levels of formlessness. So what is the difference between one formless and another formless? Meaning what they are trying to say is there is no physical form. That's all they are trying to say. Is energy body, this, that, etc. Fine. So by formless they are only meaning that there is no physical structure. But energy structure is energy structure anyway. So how can there be 4 levels? Then you have to say prana, mind, intellect, reason. You're still creating structures only, no? In the conventional terms, you cannot destructure something unless you created another structure. Isn't it? You cannot destructure something. If you're in process of destructuring, breaking down something, you're creating another structure. You have to create another structure. Vedanta also does that. Why? You start with I am the body, destructure it, prana, go. Finally, then you take that leap with the help of the Shastra into what is limitlessness. That is not a structure. That is because of which all structures exist. Are you all getting what I am trying to say? The whole thing is very different thing altogether. All this is gained from Shastra Vivinatva. So, first of all, whether your Shastra is saying is logical or not. Number 2, can it be validated by you while living? If you are talking to me anything after death, it's a belief system. May be true, may not be true. And people talk all about all funny things. You do some good action here, you will get eternalness. Karma is illogical. Karma phala. Karma phala is limited. Karma is limited, karma phala has to be limited. You cannot have limitless karma phala for limited. थोड़ा आगे पीछे हो सकता है. I did something small, I got a huge. That can happen.
Swamiji, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So here we say that after that, after you die, what happens is belief. But the Shastra itself talks, the first section itself talks about.
But that's also belief only.
But that's but it's
Once
pramana.
again. Therefore, we will say, because we take the whole Veda as a pramana, we will say it's paroksha jnana. Knowledge you cannot validate when you are alive. Yeah, that's how it is. So it becomes as good as, for all practical purposes, it becomes like belief. For all practical purposes, it becomes like belief. Yeah. We say paroksha jnana because Veda is a pramana. Because the pramana, we have to take it as fact. It exists. But luckily, it doesn't say anything illogical. It says, you did something good, you will get something good. Once that is over, you come back to earth. Therefore, there is a logic about it. Therefore, more acceptable. More acceptable. So, we talk about it as dimensions of existence. And we make it universal. If you have done good, it doesn't matter what religion you belong to, you have to get good karma phala. It is not that if you have done good, but if you don't belong to my religion, you will still go to hell. That's illogical. Then what about all the people who died before your religion came into existence? God is very unfair. He gave you a religion thousands of years after He created human beings. What type of a God is that? He didn't care for people. He should have given it right at the beginning of creation. No? Only then there is fairness. No? So the Veda is given it right from the beginning of creation. We don't say it came up later. It was revealed along with the creation.
Revealed by God Himself.
Huh? Yeah, Ishwarayana Nishwasatam Veda. We've seen that in the previous section. Yeah, Karthik.
But Swamiji, even people from other religions, based on their karma, would end up having to go to one of our 14 lokas.
Yeah.
Whether they
Yeah.
like it or not.
Whether they like it or not. That is why there was one Dr. Collins. Okay? He had this thing of contacting spirits from beyond. Now, you have to believe what he has written, okay? But he has recordings of, different voices and all that. So, some sort of belief can be there in that. The most unhappy man in heaven was the Archbishop of Canterbury whom he contacted. Why? Heaven is not like what was described in the Bible. Don't worry. It will not be like how it is described in the Puranas also. Why? You are describing the fourth dimension in terms of the three dimensions. So, there will be, it will not be the same. A three-dimensional figure is trying to understand the fourth dimension. It will not be the same. Some sort of thing you can say, okay. Some sort of thing.
Swamiji, just out of curiosity, I wanted to ask one question. When the person dies and goes to heaven, so till she takes another birth, that person will remember everything, of the previous birth, and that he's in Swarga and all that.
Yeah, some sort of memory will be there, but some sort of forgetfulness also can be there. No? Certain things you'll forget also. No? Like, let us say, you went to Greece for a holiday. You'll remember Bombay. But certain things about Bombay you'll forget also. अरे अब एक client को मिलने के भूल गया. When you come back and you consult, I have to meet this client. So that type of forgetfulness can happen in heaven also. And after some time that attachment and this kind of the earth of this lifetime has to go on. How long will it remain? How long will it remain? By karma phala, if some, what I call runanu bandham is there, then you will connect it in another lifetime. If some karmic connection is there, but in that connection, the connection may be entirely different. Enemies may become friends, friends may become foes. What is the karmic connection? What is the lesson to be learned? All those things will come into the picture. So there is no guarantee of anything. That's why that forgetfulness is important. Yeah.
Very important.
Your father is born to you as your child. How do you relate now? You call him daddy or call him beta? If he remembers, you remember both. Your life will be a mess here.
Apohanam.
Huh?
Apohanam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life will become messy. As it is, life is messy enough. Relationships are messy enough. उसको ऊपर ये भी. Better forgetfulness, etc. is good. That's why I don't encourage too much of past life regression and things like that. Why? It's over, done with now. Let it be. Unless there are some severe phobias in someone and you have to help deal with those things, only then I go into all those things. It's better that way. Okay. So, therefore, the yoni for Brahma Jnanam has to be the Shastra alone, nothing else. Okay? That's why I went into other religions, because everyone claims it.
Sir, repeat this again.
Huh?
What you said just now.
The yoni, the cause for knowing Brahman, has to be the Shastra itself. Can't be anything else. It has to be, of course, logically presented, because if it is not logically presented, how are you going to understand? You will not understand either. Okay? Right. Athava. Athava meaning he is giving an alternate interpretation of the same sutra. यथोक्त ऋग्वेदादि शास्त्रम योनि कारणम pramanam asya brahmana. Therefore, this Rigvedadi Shastram that we presented is the yoni. Yoni meaning what? Karanam. Karanam meaning what? Pramanam. For what? Brahmana. Brahman is the Karanam for the Shastra. And the Shastra is the Pramanam to know Brahman. Why? This is one case where Anyonya Ashraya works. Why? Because there is no other way. If Ishvara has to exist, he has to reveal it. Finished. There is no other way.
Swamiji, in short, Shastra is not the Janani of Brahman, Shastra is the Pramana of Brahman.
Pramana for
Yes.
Brahman, exactly. Yeah. It is not meant to create Brahman.
Yes.
It is meant to know Brahman. Karanam. That's why he said Yoni meaning Karanam. Karanam meaning what? Pramanam. Okay? Yatha vastu surupa adhigame. Brahmanaha yatha vastu surupa adhigame. To understand Brahman exactly what it is. Not only as Ishvara, but also as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Both are important. You start with Ishvara, because Shastra, Yoni, all that thing you go into. But then, what is the Surupa of Ishvara? Until you understand the Surupa of Ishvara, you will stand separate. Maximum you will come to is part and whole. Maximum you will come to is part and whole. But part and whole also doesn't solve the problem. You are a small cog in a big wheel. In fact, if I ask someone who has worked for some time, in the beginning when you start working, you are happy to be a small cog in a big setup. After that, you rather be a big boss in a small setup. Isn't it true that transition, doesn't it happen to all of us when you are working? Yeah. Because now you have certain experience, certain knowledge, certain wisdom, you want to put it into it. So it doesn't matter if the organization is smaller, I can put into it. Yeah. So part and whole have its own issues. Part and whole will have its own issues. It doesn't solve the problem of finitude. Okay. Therefore, Shastra Deva Pramanat Jagataha Janmadi Karanam Brahmadigamya Iti Abhipraya. Means what does it mean? What are we saying? That without the Shastra, you cannot know Brahman as Jagat Karanam or Brahman as Nirgunam. Either way you cannot know. Because as I said, if there is Ishvara, Ishvara has to reveal himself. So that revelation is called the Shastra. Then you have to say how logical it is, all that you can check it out. Whether you can validate it. Whether you can validate it, that's important. Now, Jagat Karanam Brahman, can you validate?
No, Swamiji. You can't.
Only logically. Logically, not personally. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman?
Yes.
Your Swarupa. Therefore, that can be validated. One guy was saying, see, if Ishvara is Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, everything is Ishvara, then he is not Paroksha. I said, what are you seeing? Table, chair, sun, moon, stars, trees. And you're saying this is Ishvara, means what? Manifestation. Are you seeing the whole of Ishvara? Are you seeing 14 dimensions? Ishvara includes 14 dimensions. No? Vishwarupa has to include 14 dimensions. You're not seeing that. Therefore, it is Paroksha only. Certain aspect of it is Pratyaksha, what is there in front of your eyes. But then what is Pratyaksha will become subject-object. So that way, as Jagat Karanam is Nitya Paroksha only. You can only understand logically. But the beauty is, the solution is in Satyam Jnanam Anantam. And that you can validate as yourself. Now we will say, for a Karma Yogi, etc., Ishvara has to be alive. Meaning, Ishvara has to be a fact of his life. Ishvara is a fact in his life. How much? as far as his life is understood. So you are still understanding Jagat Karanam Brahman from the standpoint of your life only. Karma, karma phala, karma diksha, etc. You will understand from that standpoint only. Still limited. And octopus will understand it differently. We have taken care of that also, okay? Ashtau, Bhujangi, Mahishasura, 8 arms. Devi is invoked like that. So even the octopus can relate to that, not a problem. Okay? I'm joking, take it easy. This is my irreverent bhakti coming up, okay? My bhakti is strong, it can be irreverent also. So, that is it. Yeah. So, Ishvara has to, as a karma yogi, it is necessary that Ishvara is alive for you. It's a fact in your life, meaning a fact in your life. Yeah. That's important. But that does not remove the fact is Nitya Paroksha. Because you see only a small dimension of it. Your understanding is only a small dimension, not totality. But in the understanding of Satyam Jnanam Anantam, it's totality. Okay? Yeah. This is not a dichotomy. This is the difference between knowing and functioning. Karma Yoga means functioning. Satyam Jnanam Anantam is purely cognitive. So knowing and functioning differences, one has to be very comfortable with it. That means to be a really good Vedantin, you cannot get into categorical thinking. Your mind should be able to hold paradoxes in it. How do I cultivate that? Start enjoying jokes. Jokes are all paradoxes. Why do you think I crack so many jokes when I am teaching? Making your mind being able to hold the paradoxes, okay? There's a purpose in it. Okay, I say joke marke. I don't joke, there's a purpose. It's part of the Arthavada of teaching. The purpose is this, the mind can hold paradoxes. Not dichotomy, paradoxes. Yeah. Okay, iti abhipraya. Finishes. Shastram udahritam purva sutra. In the previous sutra, there was this example given. Yatava imani bhutani jayanti ityadi. So this is already mentioned there, no? Yatava imani jayanti. Then Ishvara is sarvajnaha, etc. Why this sutra? Kimartam tarhi idam sutra. What is the use of this sutra? It says, Yavataha purva sutrena eva evam jhatikiyakam shastra mudahrata shastra vyanitvam brahmana darshitam. Why do you have to separately say that? Okay. Of the very for brahmana darshitam uchyate tatra sutra aksharena spashtam shastrasya anupadana janmadi sutrena kevalam anumanam upanyastam iti ashankyate. Says there can be a doubt. Since the Shastra was not explicitly stated there, Yatova Imani Bhutani Jayanti, it was quoted. But Shastra is the yoni for knowing Brahman was not explicitly said.
The question you asked.
Yeah, was not explicitly stated. Okay? Shastra, this is just said, Yatova Imani Bhutani Jayanti, the Shastra was quoted. Okay, alright, Imani Bhutani, therefore it is Sarvajnaha, etc. Therefore, Ishvara is Sarvajnaha, that much you understood. Sarvashaktiman, all that. What is the pramanam for knowing Ishvara was not specifically mentioned. So, Shastra Yonitva is specifically mentioning that Shastra meva pramanam. That there cannot be any other pramana. Anumana, etc. cannot be a pramana. In the previous one, we dismissed the Anumana as pramana.
That is Gyan, na?
Huh?
It comes.
It was done in the
It is Gyan.
second sutra.
Without Gyan, how you can?
No, without in the second sutra, Anumanam as a pramana for Jnanam was dismissed.
Correct.
But that Shastra is only pramana was not specifically stated. The Shastra matra
Swamiji,
pramana.
this Shastra is Pramana comes only from this, nowhere otherwise in the
Yeah, it is not said. In the previous sutra it is not said.
But nowhere in
Later
the
on said.
Upanishads
Later
or-
on also it is mentioned. But specifically, this sutra exists to prove that. Yeah. Because this is an important point. Otherwise we will say everything is talking the truth. Everything is not talking the truth. There may be stray statements here and there in all religions. In all religions there are stray statements. Father and son are the same. But it's subject to interpretation. Because what the Tatparya Nishchaya has to be done? We will look at it and say, hey, the seeds of this knowledge are there. Is that the official stand of the religion? No way. No way. God is formless. We will say, correct, formless. Then you can't have him in a form. And so all forms are his forms. There's a difference there. Then you will put him formless and locate him in Timbuktu. How can formless be located? So, all religions are not doing the same thing. Yeah. Each religion has its purpose, what it is meant to be. It has an audience. So, Vedanta also has an audience, no? Vedanta is also not meant for everyone. Nobody is barred from coming to Vedanta. It is not meant for everyone. Why? Athato Brahma Jignasa. Yeah. You come to Vedanta, fine. Nobody is kept away. Then you are getting some insight here and there. Shravana Manan Nidhyasanam you do. यार 20 साल किया अभी कुछ अब होता नहीं है. Check up Athato Brahma Jignasa, Adhikaritvam, what is missing? Fine tune. That means what? There is an audience for Vedanta also. Like how there is an audience for every religion. Why? Meant for different people. Yeah, Moksha wrote here. I want money, I want a job. Okay. Then you go to those things, those mantras for that, meant for that. You don't come to Moksha for it. You don't come to Vedanta for it. अरे मेरे को वीसा मनता है यार. वीसा मनता है. For that also there are mantras, okay? I am not joking.
अभी $2,500 मंत्र बना है.
आपद उद्धार का हनुमत स्तोत्रम is meant for solving visa issues if you make the sankalpa like that. I am not joking. It is an application. It is an application of an old mantra, old kavacha, for a modern issue. Why? Hanuman is not barred from going anywhere. Vajuputra. He needed a visa for Sri Lanka. So, this is the logic behind it. Okay, I'm putting it in a jovial manner. Okay. So those are the issues I want. I don't come to Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma Yo Vedehitam. Not meant for that. So the audience is also different for Vedanta. The same thing happens for any other religion. What's the problem? Yeah, Hinduism is applied applicable for all people at all times. Correct. It's applicable for all people at all times. Why? Because we have all these varieties. It's all inclusive. For someone who comes and says, give me more, give me more, give me more. Tata napyo, Birla napyo, Manenati apyo, Bombay businessman's prayer. You gave Tata, you gave Birla, you didn't give me anything, oh Lord, give me also something. Okay. So from there onwards, okay, Baba. Do this. You're doing your business, all the right things you're doing is not taking off. Do this also along with that. No, take it. Are you getting the idea? So it's all inclusive, fine. But audience are different. Therefore, this is meant for the moksharthi. Upanishad is meant for the moksharthi. The Upanishad, the Gita and all are moksharthi. So, accordingly, all right. Okay. Uchate tat sutra aksharena spashtam shastrena upadanam sutrena. Okay, ashinkate tasmat shankah nivartyarthamidam sutram pravartate shastra yonitvat iti. Therefore, the Shastra Yonitva Sutra has got the second fold function of establishing that the Shastra itself is the Pramanam for Brahman, nothing else. That is the highlight of that thing. Okay? But there are some more nuances, some more points that I will point out next class. We have one more class before we take a break. Okay? Next Sunday also we have a class. Sunday after that I will not be here. Okay. And I've been juggling time to see whether I can take a class from UK or not. Doesn't work out. Clashes with my class there, my this thing here, all that will clash.
Just see the date.
Today is 17,
27,
next is 24, then
27.
it will be 31st. Or
So
30,
27th we have.
No, 27th.
27 we don't have.
27th onwards we don't have. 27th and 3rd we will not have.
Yeah.
So next Saturday, Sunday is 20th.
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 20th we'll have.
So
next
20th
week
we'll have. 20th.
Third also we don't have.
3rd also we will have. 2 classes we won't have.
classes.
2 classes we won't have. There's no way I can take the class.
So today from
Even
20th to
Swamini
10th
ji,
of
10th.
Even Swamini ji will not.
I'm not sure. Swami may be able to take one class because her one class timing is not clashing. So that Thursday class, for example,
No, Sunday class.
Sunday class, I'm not sure. What time is our Sunday class?
4 o'clock.
Evening.
Yes. Today 4 to 5.
4 to 5 will be what time there in UK?
IST.
So 4.5 hours.
11 o'clock?
11:30.
11:30.
11:30.
I don't think, I think she may be able to take because her lecture is not clashing with that. Mine is, but hers is not. Mine is not clashing, but I have a whole day this thing. I'm not going to take a class at 5 o'clock in the morning.
10th week.
10th of August. we
Because the
after 20th.
27th I have a whole day camp. So I'm not going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and take okay. The whole
And night also. Night also.
night also is there, yeah. So I'm not taking that. Yeah. So Swamini may take 1 or 2 classes. I'm not sure how much she will take. 1 or 2 she may take. I'm giving it a break. People can think over things. Okay. Good place to stop. Oh, that's